I don't speak Deutsch, so I can make my description some points about my listing in English, or maybe I'm a Japanese person. But then if I already have the German keywords from Helium 10, the AI can make the rest of the listing, easy. Always do the research. Maybe you have a great lifestyle image that works wonderful for Germany, but maybe it's offensive in Mexico or something like that. You have to do this research and don't just assume that it's going to be the same. Some sellers are like, man, I don't know if I can stay as profitable. My margin was already only 10-15%, and now that 10-15% is gone because of these new fees. And so a lot of sellers are thinking, how can I keep selling and stay profitable?
We are here with Bradley Sutton from Helium 10. I guess everyone knows him from multiple videos out there. The topic of your speech is how you can gain an advantage by focusing on customers on Amazon. Could you elaborate on that?
I think it's important. One thing I'm going to talk about is how one thing that's consistent in Amazon is actually inconsistency, change. Everything is always changing, but one thing never changes, and that is that if you are focusing on the customer, you're safe, in my opinion, because everything Amazon does, whether it's a new fee or a new system or some policy, everything is about the customer. And so sometimes I think we as sellers, we start thinking too much about algorithms and relevancy, and these are important things. But if that's all we focus on, we forget we need to sell to a customer, a human being. We're not selling to an algorithm always, so we have to have the balance. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about, hey, what can sellers do to remember, hey, we are selling to a human being. What are some things that can make sure we always stay relevant to the customer?
That's very interesting, because you also have the perception of US sellers and perhaps even European sellers. What would you say are the fundamental differences between the two?
I think Europe, from what I see, is a little bit not as advanced as far as like the influencer marketing, as far as how impactful it is in the United States. And I'm not just talking about Amazon. Obviously, there's TikTok Shop, which hasn't come here, but Americans are very much influenced by influencers, I think more than Europe. And for some part, like branding is more important, I think, in US. Like it really makes it a difference. But that's only a small part of it. I think the big part of selling online is actually similar, regardless of the country. Every country is going to have differences. If I'm selling Amazon Japan, it's not going to be exactly the same as Amazon UAE or Amazon France. But a lot of the fundamentals about SEO is going to be the same no matter where. A lot of the fundamentals about how you have your images is going to be the same, in most marketplaces. But you should never just assume it's the same. Always do the research, because hey, maybe you have a great lifestyle image that works wonderful for Germany, but maybe it's offensive in Mexico or something like that. You have to do this research and don't just assume that it's going to be the same.
What would you say are maybe the topics that will affect sellers in 2025? Maybe US based and European based. Are there some changes on the horizon that you might see?
Of course, everybody for almost 2 years now is talking about what AI is going to do, and different AI things that can help sellers, the way AI works on Amazon. And so that is probably the most rapidly changing aspect of e-commerce. Like something now could be completely different in 1 month. I think Kevin King is going to be talking about that in his presentation. So I think that's always going to be top of mind this year. But maybe more than that, or about the same, is just about profitability. Last year in America, at least, was maybe the worst year for profitability because of so many new fees. A lot of those fees, the Europe hasn't come to Europe. Now you send inventory to FBA. If you don't send it to 5 places, you have to pay placement fee. Hey, your inventory gets low, now you have to pay low inventory fee. Hey, you do this, now you have another fee. Hey, your reimbursement, if they lost your image or your product, it goes down. Like, profitability is really being squeezed for US sellers and some part also Europe. So I think that's going to be still a very big topic, because some sellers are like, man, I don't know if I can stay as profitable. My margin was already only 10-15%, and now that 10-15% is gone because of these new fees. And so a lot of sellers are thinking, how can I keep selling and stay profitable.
Yeah, you mentioned AI. Are there any AI features planned in Helium 10? Because obviously you represent Helium 10, the leading tool in all of Amazon FBA. Are there any AI features that you plan on implementing in the near future into your software?
Yeah, we have a lot already. You know, we have our listing builder where, let's say I'm making a listing in Amazon Germany. I don't speak Deutsch, you know, so I can make my description some points about my listing in English, or maybe I'm a Japanese person. But then if I already have the German keywords from Helium 10, the AI can make the rest of the listing, you know, easy. We have a lot of AI image generation that's available in our advertising tool, and also in Listing Builder to help you make Amazon posts. We have AI tools that help with the product research, where you start your project and then we analyze a lot of the historical data points and give you a summary based on AI. So we have even filtering. You know, in Cerebro now, you can say with Gen AI prompt, hey, take away any branded keywords. Because sometimes we don't know all the brands, but then, you know, the AI is smarter than us. Hey, show me all the Spanish keywords that's coming up here. So there's already a lot of AI things that we have in Helium 10. Something that just launched last week for a few members is AI-based taking an Amazon listing and then within seconds making it for TikTok Shop. Yeah. Not just copying and pasting, but using AI to change the title to the best practice for TikTok Shop, the bullet points, change it for the best practices. So whatever is going to be make an Amazon seller's life easier with AI, and it's reasonable to make, we will go ahead and implement that.
Do you think it will heavily increase the productivity per Amazon seller? All of AI, because you need less people?
It has to. I mean, otherwise, why even use it?
Yeah.
That's the whole reason of AI. It needs to, and that's a good way. That's a good way, what you just said, to know, like, hey, should I do this or not? Well, ask yourself that question. Does it make your life easier? Because again, this goes back to the profitability. Maybe you had to have 3 full-time employees. Well, can one of those full-time employees, maybe you can transfer that to some AI processes?
It's efficiency.
That's going to help your bottom line. You know, where maybe you don't even have to raise your price, even though you're getting squeezed by these fees. So I think that's very important. That should you do something with AI, well, don't just do it just because it's cool or fun. I mean, if you have some spare time, it's maybe fun to learn. But hey, does it really move the needle for you? If the answer is yes, you need to go ahead and do it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.